It's the middle of the night. You shift slightly, half awake, and realize something familiar has happened again. Your dog has quietly climbed onto the bed and settled beside you, pressing against your legs like a small living heater. They have their own bed somewhere in the house, probably a comfortable one. And yet, night after night, they choose this place. Most people think the strange comfort dogs bring to human sleep. Here's something that seems contradictory. When scientists tracked the sleep patterns of people who shared a bed with their dogs, the results showed that they move, they stretch, they shift positions during the night. Objectively speaking, the sleep data looked worse. But when researchers asked participants how they felt the next morning, almost all of them reported the opposite. They felt calmer, safer, and surprisingly, more rested. Why would interrupted sleep still feel better? Because the human brain evolved to sleep in groups. For most of human history, people slept surrounded by others, family members, tribe members, companions. A quiet room and an empty bed are actually a very recent invention in human history. Your dog's presence might not be ruining your sleep. A warm breathing presence nearby signals safety to the nervous system. And safety is one of the most powerful ingredients for deep rest. A warm breathing presence nearby signals safety to the nervous system. And safety is one of the most powerful ingredients for deep rest. Two nervous systems quietly synchronizing. Recent research has revealed something even more remarkable. Scientists studying heart rate variability, one of the best indicators of how relaxed or stressed the body is, discovered that dogs and their owners often show synchronized patterns. When the human relaxes, the dog relaxes. When the human becomes stressed, the dog's body reacts too. This synchronization becomes strongest during periods of rest. In other words, when a dog sleeps beside you, two completely different nervous systems are regulating each other through the night. Not through words, not through intention, but through presence, a chemical loop of attachment. Part of this connection happens at a molecular level. In one study, scientists measured oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, in both dogs and their owners. Oxytocin is the same chemical released when a mother holds her newborn child. Researchers discovered that when dogs gaze into their owner's eyes, oxytocin rises in both of them. The more the dog looks, the more the hormone increases. The stronger the bond feels, the more eye contact happens. It becomes a feedback loop, a biological conversation happening silently between two species. What makes this discovery even more fascinating is that the same experiment with wolves did not produce the same result. This unique chemical bond appears to exist only between humans and dogs, a relationship written into their DNA. That connection did not appear overnight. Genetic research suggests that during the long process of domestication, dogs developed specific genetic traits linked to friendliness and human-focused behavior. Certain variations in their DNA make them more likely to seek eye contact, physical closeness, and social interaction with people. In other words, dogs didn't just learn to live with humans. They evolved to want our presence, even to the point of sleeping beside us. A partnership that began long before civilization, long before cities, farming, or written language. Early wolves began approaching human camps. The ones that were less fearful stayed longer. Those that stayed closer gained access to food scraps and warmth. Over generations, the friendliest animals survived and reproduced. Gradually, something extraordinary happened. The wolves changed. They became dogs. Archaeologists have even discovered ancient burial sites where humans and dogs were laid to rest together. In one case, a dog that had survived a severe illness must have been cared for by humans for weeks in order to live. This suggests that even thousands of years ago, dogs were not simply tools or guards. They were companions, family. Why dogs choose to sleep beside you? All of this leads back to a simple question. Why do dogs climb into our beds at night? From an evolutionary perspective, sleep is the most vulnerable state for any animal. Instinct tells them to find the safest place possible. So when a dog walks past quiet corners of the house, and settles beside a human much larger than itself, it is making a decision, not about comfort, but about trust. Your presence tells their brain something important. This place is safe. When that habit suddenly changes, because dogs are creatures of routine, changes in sleeping habits can sometimes signal that something is wrong. A dog that suddenly stops jumping onto the bed might not have lost interest. They might be in pain. Veterinarians often notice that subtle behavior changes appear before physical symptoms. In older dogs, altered sleep patterns can even be one of the early signs of cognitive decline. Since dogs cannot explain what they feel, behavior becomes their language. And sometimes where they sleep is part of that conversation. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night with only a small corner of the mattress left and your dog pressed firmly against your legs, remember what that moment represents. Your dog had other options: the couch, the floor, a warm patch of sunlight earlier in the day. But when it came time to sleep, the most vulnerable moment of the night, they chose you. Thousands of years of evolution, biology, and shared history have led to that simple decision. To your dog, sleeping beside you means only one thing. It means they believe they are safe. And perhaps, in ways science is only beginning to understand, their presence is quietly helping you feel the same.